Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Derek.
Hello.
We're back for another edition of Sarah Michelle Gellar's first run or only run as Kendall Hart on All My Children in 1993. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. Okay, so we pick up, I guess, in the aftermath of Kendall telling, why do I always forget her name?
Myrtle.
No, the little sister,
Oh, Bianca.
Bianca, that she's a spoiled rich brat.
Mhm.
At the time played by Lacey Chabert, but not in these clips, so that happened quick.
Yeah, the recast happened already.
Yeah. Downgrade? No offense to the new one. I don't know who she is.
I do remember this one. She was the one that was on the longest as a
Okay.
child. So yeah.
All right, they'll gotta start somewhere. Maybe she gets better. So we have Erica confronting Kendall at her room she's at the boarding house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because she moved and went somewhere else at some point.
Mhm.
Um and they're having their back and forth, and Kendall's on the defense and angry at Erica. And just as she's about to say that she's her daughter,
Mhm.
they get news that Bianca got thrown from a horse and they have to go to the
Mhm.
hospital.
Yeah.
So she runs off. Kendall kind of lingers for a little bit, but then she ends up showing up at the hospital to check on Bianca.
Mhm.
I was not expecting everything to come out in this. Even
Mhm.
though I have seen this scene before because I've like watched clips here and there.
Mhm.
It wasn't registering that this was something
It was Lacey Chabert who fell off the horse, though. But we didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Because she was in the hospital. We didn't see the scenes either where Erica visits Bianca in the hospital, and that was Lacey Chabert too. I remember watching that full episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Mhm.
Um, so Kendall is kind of like beating around the bush, insinuating, she's not your only daughter. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then eventually she says, I'm your daughter.
Mhm.
And I have to say, I came around to Erica once she like flipped the switch and was like feeling maternal towards Kendall. Like I
Mhm.
was kind of on Erica's side for most of
Yeah,
the
I'm glad you're seeing Eric in a different she
No,
can be really
granted,
good.
her self-absorption is funny, but a lot of it, I'm just like, okay, you could tone it down a little bit. But yeah, I like the motherly side of her.
Mhm.
Um, she tries to deny it. She says you're an obsessed fan, like she's been saying. She's like, I should have known from the moment that like you came barging into my office demanding a job. Um, and Kendall produces a birth certificate that says that her birth mother is Erica Kane. And Erica doesn't really know how to process this because she has to deal with her daughter who's just hurt and deal with Kendall. And because she gets called away to go see Bianca, Kendall is like, yeah, go to your favorite daughter. Like, just very
Right,
overdramatic.
right. She's the one that
Who
counts.
cares about your firstborn? So this is when I started to come around because Erica makes the effort. She goes to visit her. She's now
Mhm.
packed up and moved out of the boarding house and is staying in what looks like a motel,
Yeah, the pine cone, I think.
the Pine Cone.
It's the
I
sleaziest
laughed at because they like try to work
alley.
into everything.
Yeah.
um, and she's just on the defense, won't even like give her a chance.
Yeah.
Kendall, that is, towards Erica. Um, I had a feeling Erica was raped. I don't know if you told me in a previous episode and I just forgot, but
No, I didn't tell you, but yeah.
when she kept refusing to like tell her about her father, I was like, I feel like there's a reason. Stop pushing her.
Yeah.
She didn't say how old she was. She just kept saying she was a child.
Mhm.
And because she didn't know any better, she thought when she started to show that it was just her body developing because she didn't know any better because she was so young.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually her mother that knew she was 5 months pregnant when she saw her getting out of the shower.
Mm-hmm.
You said Erica never saw Kendall, right? It was just Mona. That's why Mona recognized the birthmark.
Yes.
Okay. So I learned that Kendall's father was actually a friend of Erica's father.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming it was an older man.
Yes.
Does this ever play out? Like, do we ever have like
Oh yeah.
flashbacks or?
We're gonna meet him.
Oh,
It's
he's
a whole
alive.
big storyline. Oh yeah, it's a whole big
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
the way she was talking, I thought he was dead. Like, I just thought it was like
I'm sure
not
she
his hand.
wishes he was dead, but yeah, he's not dead.
Wow.
We're gonna meet him in '94, I believe, and like, yeah, it's a huge storyline.
I know I'm jumping really far ahead, but I would love it if Kendall was the one to kill him if he dies, as like vengeance for her mother.
I remember how he dies, and it's pretty crazy.
It's
Yeah. Sorry, he did die.
well, good. He deserves to. um. So then, I also didn't. I learned through these scenes that what's John Callahan's
Edmund.
Edmund? That Edmund and Dimitri are brothers. Didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never knew that.
Edmund was the illegitimate brother, like Kendall's the illegitimate daughter. So that's kind of where they start bonding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they become romantically involved?
Edmund and Kendall? No,
No.
no, no. He feels sorry for her, and he's like
Okay.
friendly with her. Yeah.
Because when he came to the motel, I was like, I don't know if I like this. If this is gonna be a thing.
No, no. I don't know if you saw, but Maria just came on. That was one of her first scenes when she was in the hospital.
Oh, was it? She was so quick and like you couldn't really see her face. You just
Yeah, it was
I was like,
her,
is it
and that was
Maria?
that was one of her first scenes. And then I think she gets involved with Edmund pretty soon after that.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Hmm.
Mark Consuelos wasn't on the show yet, right?
He doesn't come on 95.
But he plays her brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
I knew they were connected somehow. Um, so Erica ends up inviting Kendall to dinner, which we didn't see.
Mhm.
Kendall showed up to the house with Edmund. Um,
Mhm.
and it looked like they were about to have a talk, and Erica was very like trying to like behave and like just get to know her. And then
Mhm.
it kind of ended the episode because it was weird. We had like a flash of the credits with them standing there, and then it went to a new
Yeah,
episode.
they skipped over a little bit.
Yeah, it's it probably wasn't available, but
Mhm.
the gist I got was that she was invited to a dinner party, pretty much.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not even a dinner party, just a dinner, because it would just be her, Erica, Dimitri, and I guess Edmund.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, Edmund was funny because when they went to the dinner party, he's just standing in the background, just like la la la. And he was like, "Oh, don't mind me." He's like, "Oh,
Edmund
nice."
is actually very funny character. If you like watch him, John Callahan is great in the role too. His comedic timing is great.
Okay. So Erica ends up saying that she wants Kendall to move into the house,
Mhm.
and I love how Sarah Michelle Gellar played it
Mhm.
because she was still trying to hold that cold, like angry front, but then she also kind of had like a smirk, like she was happy that her
Mhm.
mother was offering this to her.
And like it's finally starting to accept her. Yeah.
And I like that she apologized to Erica
Mhm.
for how she's been towards her pretty much.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, prior to everything coming out, that maid ratted her out about burning the legal documents. So she was like, she must have burned the divorce papers.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so Bianca hears the invitation for Kendall to move in, and she's just like, I don't want her to live here. This is our house or my house.
She lives in Seattle, Bianca. You live in Seattle. Get a grip. Like.
And Kendall tries to calm her down. She basically apologizes for how she spoke to her and how
Mhm.
maybe they could be friends and start over, and to think of it as like a slumber party. And Erica tells her to say goodnight to Dimitri and Uncle Edmund and go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guys, so they said, we better go get her stuff and move her in before like it becomes like a Noah's Ark or something. And I was like, is it because they think she has so much stuff, or is there a
Maybe.
storm coming?
Yeah.
Because she only had the one suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
So they deliver the suitcase, and that was pretty much it. It was a lot of big stuff, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like bam, bam,
It was
bam.
very fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really
I
enjoyed
also
it.
like the scenes with Myrtle too. Kendall's scenes with Myrtle, where she was like, "You have to tell her," and then Myrtle comes. Erica comes in looking for Kendall because she wants to confront her about the divorce papers.
Mm-hmm.
And Myrtle comes in and thinks that Erica knows that Kendall's her daughter, and she almost slips and tells her.
Yeah, doesn't she say, I'm here about my daughter? And then she's like, oh, good, she told you.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And she was talking about
And
Bianca.
she's like, tell me what about Bianca?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, ooh. I hope Myrtle and Kendall continue to be friends and have scenes together because I really like that dynamic.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I don't, but I'm a little bit nervous that it's going to be switched out for her and Mona, and we're not going to see Myrtle and her connect anymore.
I think they might. I think she moves back into the boarding house eventually, but I could be wrong. But I think they. I don't know if they're. Well, I don't remember to be honest about. But I know Mona and Kendall bond a lot, and they have a close relationship. So
We didn't see Mona in any of these scenes. I was kind of hoping we'd get a little bit more movement on the whole birthmark thing, but now I guess it's not necessary now that it's out.
well, I might be coming up, but Erica will confront her about it but we
Mona?
might miss it because Sarah Michelle Gellar is not in the scenes. But Erica does eventually confront Mona about her knowing that Kendall was her daughter and not telling her. I do remember that.
Okay. Well, as far as I know, she doesn't actually know. She just suspects.
Hmm. She may have found out. Oh, she did find out because remember Haley and Charlie were investigating,
Right. Right.
and we didn't see that this time because obviously Sarah Michelle Gellar was not in those scenes. But yes, she did find out that Kendall was Erica's daughter
Okay.
through Charlie and Haley who were investigating. She did find out, and Erica does confront her about that, knowing
Okay.
and not telling her.
I hope we do get to see those scenes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know. I wish it was just it was the whole storyline and not just Sarah's scenes, but
Yeah. I mean, it's a good. I mean, we're already 2 months in three watches, so
Yeah.
and this came out already. Was not expecting it.
And
And
then
when
the
we
wedding
finally,
is probably in the next one that we watch.
so I looked at it, and the way I edited it, we're gonna have one more,
Hmm.
and then we can do the wedding.
Okay.
So it'll take us to the 21st, and then the wedding is the 22nd.
Right. Hmm. Okay. Cool.
So maybe there'll be full episodes available from there on, because I know there are some from '93 available.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
have to look deeper for that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited about the wedding. I don't
Hmm.
really know if it's gonna go off without a hitch because it is a soap opera.
Hmm. Yeah. The
Um,
wedding's a very fun episode. It's one of
is it?
a really good one. Yeah.
Was there anything I missed you wanted to mention?
Just the Myrtle stuff. I really liked watching that. What else happened? I think it's funny to see Bianca become whoever this actress is, and I was like, that was her first scene. I know she was in the wedding, but like, I kind of like Lacey Chabert. She's a little more laid back.
Yeah.
Bianca's like, oh my god, no, Kendall.
um, not Kendall. Are Myrtle and Mona friendly? Like, are they on
They're
good
friends.
terms?
Yeah,
Okay.
friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember they had a storyline in the '90s before Frau Heflin, who played Mona, passed away,
Hmm.
where they were scammed by guy who was creating a retirement home, and they both put down payments on this retirement home that would never really existed. That was a good storyline.
Wow.
And I think Edmund went undercover to like bust him. That was fun.
Wow, the show sounds like it was really good.
Mhm.
I've
In the
rejected
90s,
it
it
for
was
so
great.
long.
I feel like I mean, like, I think One Life to Live, General Hospital, and All My Children were at their peak in, like, this time for sure, 'cause
Yeah.
that's when I would watch all the time.
All right. Well, anything else to add before we go?
I don't think so, like, I think Sarah did a really great job in those scenes with Susan Lucci where she confronts, her about or she tells her about being her daughter, like, I thought
Mhm.
that she did a great job there, and I think,
I had a little like it's a petty thought because we have nothing to prove that this is true. It's just rumors. But
Mhm.
like I've always heard that they didn't get along.
Yes.
And
That
so like when Erica was being nice to her and I think she like touched her face, I imagined her being like, "Don't touch me. Don't you ever touch me."
Well, okay, so I do know a little bit about this, but Sarah did admit in, like, her interview in, like, 2002 that they didn't have a good relationship.
Hmm.
And I know when it started was it wasn't the beginning, they did get along in the beginning, so they probably are getting along at this point when they're filming.
Okay.
I think it happened later when there was allegedly, this is just a rumor, there was a scene that Sarah was told to amp up, by the director, and Susan was not aware of it, and Susan thought that Sarah was trying to upstage her, and that's where it started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but that's a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I mean, you hear a lot of things. You don't know
You do
what.
hear a lot of things. Is I hear like Susan Lucci is the sweetest person ever. And then she was like always a company girl and she was always like ride or die for her show. And
Mhm,
but then you hear these rumors, and then I've also heard rumors that her and her daughter don't speak, who was on Passions anymore. I
mhm.
don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I mean, we're not there. We don't know what really happened, so we can
Yeah.
only,
I feel like Sarah recently, like in the last year or two, reflected upon her whole career.
Mhm,
And she talked about All My Children and how whatever that was between her and Susan Lucci, and how it was just, I don't know, she kind of glossed over it,
mhm.
but took ownership for her part in it, I guess.
I remember when All My Children got canceled, and Sarah said she called Susan Lucci, and she hadn't spoken to her years to tell her, how sorry she was because I think like she wanted to like just extend her, sympathies or whatever. And Susan's like, "Why you want to offer me a role on a show on your show, on Ringer?" I think she was on Ringer at the time, and then Sarah ended up coming back for an appearance,
Yeah.
and she ended up filming with Eva LaRue, and I think she was supposed to film with Susan Lucci, but it didn't happen. I don't know if it was a scheduling conflict but rumor has it Susan didn't show up to set that day. Like I mean,
Really
so
petty to
many
the last
things.
minute.
I know there's so many things you hear, and it's like you don't know if it's true or not.
Right. Well, Sarah was doing Ringer, so it was probably a scheduling thing. Because I
Yeah,
remember that it was literally 2 or 3 scenes, and it was with Ava
yeah,
LaRue, and she just kept screaming, "I'm, I'm Erica Kane's daughter," which kind of like
yeah.
what parallels what she's screaming in these like clips that we just saw. Like, "I'm your daughter."
Right, right.
I wonder if that's why they did it like
Yeah.
that.
Uh huh.
And I always laugh because I always think about her talking about vampires, and they're like, at that point, there was Twilight, and every vampires were really big.
Mm-hmm.
And her line was, "I saw them before they were trendy."
Right, right. I remember that line.
So it was just fun. I was so happy that she came back for that.
Yeah.
But all right, well, thank you for joining us for another edition of SMG on AMC. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps and on Patreon for some exclusive content. We're probably going to end up watching Dimitri and Erica's wedding on our Patreon page, so stay tuned for that and
Yeah.
subscribe to watch along with us. And until next time, have a great night.
Good night.
Bye.